Yeah, it opened here October 5th, and since it's broken records here at the Cinema Studio, which is a very small theater. And for the Saturday Late Show, the scene out on the sidewalk is something like hipper than even the chicest discos in town. It's really amazing.
I like that. I like being forced to jump into it and react.
Yeah, you seemed really, really good at it.
Jim was the boss.
Oh.
I know where my bread was buttered.
He writes.
I write.
Mm-hmm.
I write stories. And I fight with my girlfriend a lot.
Well, I'm a filmmaker also. Jim and I have been working together for 6 years.
Yeah, how we doing, man? I don't know. These are hard questions for some reason. Maybe I've just lost it entirely. You never know, you know.
I'm an actor, and I want to be an actor. I don't want people to say he doesn't belong there. He's a cameraman, you know.
Yeah, I really want to do good. What I'm hoping is that I'll be so good that at the end they'll pay for my plane ticket. Anyway.
Okay, I wish you good luck.
Where have you been? I haven't seen you since Thursday.
Walking. Just walking around. I can't seem to sleep at night. Not in this city.
Doesn't seem like you sleep at all.
Well, I have my dreams while I'm awake.
Hello, Chris. It's Jim.
Hey. All right, man, my man.
Wait, can you come down?
See, what I like about this is it sets up, the shot becomes like a little stage. And the room is small enough so that it looks like it's a little stage in a way. And I really do, I have to give it to Chris to be able to do this. You know, he's a great dancer too, he loves to dance. And he may have even, in fact, in some of the other takes that we did, or even before we did the take, he was really dancing beautifully, you know, really letting loose. And it's too bad. I think maybe he held himself back just a little bit in this.
Well, but I think
it's great.
It's one of the scenes I
love it. I just wish that the film had more of this kind of life. You know what I'm saying?
I first met Jim when he was just starting to formulate the ideas for Permanent Vacation. And he asked me to be the production manager 2 weeks before he was shooting and said, you have to get me 15 locations. We have no money. We have nothing. And you have to find me these things and these things. And I had never worked on a film before. And it was a great experience to have that kind of responsibility and to make the magic happen, which has to happen, you know, especially in a low-budget film where you're taking risks constantly, you're shooting without permits, you're, you know, you always need a front man who's going to go and talk to the police and soothe over situations, which is what I enjoy doing, and that's what I did for Permanent Vacation. Although we did have, you know, we had some very sort of serious problems because of the lack of money. Actually, that was a pretty horrendous day. We had borrowed the Mustang from a girlfriend of mine, and it was her boyfriend's. It was a vintage Mustang. And we told Chris Parker he was supposed to just drive it out of frame and stop. And Chris, after the second take, drove it out of frame and then decided to back it up as fast as he could. And he backed the car straight back, and his head, he looked like a chicken. Like his head just popped up. I'll never forget this, like, because he has this really long neck anyway. And he went smashing into a van and a car. And just the car just crumpled, the Mustang. And Jim just was like, oh man, that's the end of my film. That's it. I got to spend all my money fixing this car or paying for this car. You know, that's it. You know, and we thought the film was finished then. And then Chris's sister was married to some guy who had connections with a garage in Long Island City. And they said, bring it out there. So we brought it out there as this really suspicious-looking place. And we told the owner, you know, there had been a little dent and we were going to fix it. We brought it out there, and the guys at the garage said, oh, man, this car is ruined. I said, this is ruined. Why don't we just make it disappear? You get the insurance, we'll make it disappear. Jim's like, no, don't make it disappear. Please don't make it disappear. And then they hammered out the whole car, and we returned it, painted and cleaned and stuff. But
so it's the same car then in the garage. I mean,
yeah,
in the film.
right. And Chris is really nervous in that scene, and that's right after he had smashed it. You don't see the side that he smashed. And
that's
and we had to pay off like the truck that he hit, the van that he hit. it was some driver who just worked for some company, so they could get the insurance, but we had to pay him $100 just on the spot so that he wouldn't call the police. And Chris in that scene is incredibly nervous, like when Eric Mitchell is kicking the tires, Chris is going like, "What are you doing, man?" Because Chris is so upset and freaked out. And but it was an experience working with Chris, because like every day we had to get up at like 5 in the morning and start calling people. And Jim would start calling, and I'd start calling, when did you see Chris Parker last? And they'd say, oh, he was at Dave's Luncheonette, he was with so-and-so, and then we'd have to call so-and-so, and we would take till 11 o'clock in the morning to find him. So even though the film was shot in 10 days, the time was really limited, because Chris really is like that kid.
This is down in the neighborhood. I used to live down there, and so it was really it's like a frontier land. It was at the time, actually. And it was very easy to come up with these kind of shots like this.
Is it different right now? I mean, the area?
Oh, yeah, it's completely changed. Art galleries, boutiques, coffee shops. It's much different.
And where is it? Is it near Bleecker Street or?
No, that's down below Canal Street. It's called Tribeca.
Oh, the cat.
She's very curious. But it really brings back a lot of very strange feelings seeing this again, because I don't know. I think we all were very naive at that point. Even more so than now. This is nice. This is completely by accident. This guy walked into the shot, and that's another thing. I mean, I'm very bored by shooting. I have to tell you that. I'm bored by it. It's I would like to get the shot done as quickly as possible. I don't think that I have ever, like I said, considered myself a cinematographer. I got into it because of this relationship that I have with Jim. I happen to enjoy looking through the camera, doing things with the camera in some way, but I find it, like I said, very tedious and boring, and I feel like I have a lot of other things that I can do as well, if not better. Okay? And I also feel that it's my experience as an actor that has enabled me to shoot these films the way I've shot them. I think it would be interesting to look at them, especially Stranger Than Paradise. I feel that I shot that film from an acting point of view, and I feel that's one of the reasons why the shots are so alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Tom DeSillo told me that he really doesn't want to shoot again. Does it make you a problem?
Yeah, it makes a big problem for me, because I've worked with him all along, and I met him in film school, and we've been close friends and worked together. But at the same time, Tom is an actor, and he's an actor first and a cinematographer second, and I respect him very much as an actor, and I respect what he has to do. I respect the decision he's made. But I keep telling him, please not to tell me definitely that you've definitely decided, because we have a really strong way of working together. He's somebody who, I think because he's an actor, he's able to observe things much more carefully than many cinematographers. He'll get into the rhythm, the way an actor moves, or, his framing and his timing, his movement of the camera start to reflect his own precise observations of people, which comes from being an actor, I think. So it's difficult for me. Also, Tom and I have he's somebody whose movement I trust so much. I can't think of a cinematographer I'd rather work with. There are other people I respect. I love, I have a dream to work with Robbie Mueller or Lubchansky. I like, Renato Berta's work too, but Tom is my first choice of anyone I could work with, so it is a problem to me. I'm gonna fall off. Well, this is the roof of my building. I live right below, and I wanted to show you this building back here, which looks like a prison yard or something. It's a new apartment building. And when we filmed Permanent Vacation, that was all an empty lot. And if you remember when Chris Parker, Allie is playing with a yo-yo, and he walks around a blue wall, a tin wall. He was walking in what used to be a field there, and now it's this beautiful structure which looks like a prison to me. But a lot of places that we shot, and we shot really only, well, now it's 5 years ago. A lot of the places locations we used aren't even there anymore. New York has changed so much, so it's kind of eerie to see the film for me now and then see these places that don't exist anymore.
Permanent Vacation is over. He's a success now. Why, I don't know. I do know. I'm making jokes because I don't know what to say. I love this man, and I hope I make another film someday with him, and I think I will. We will. He says that, but, you know, he said that for 5 years. That's okay. And I would like to ride on the Autobahn, you know? Give me a car. I won't break it this time like I did in the movie. I'll actually get a driver's license, and I will come to Germany.
Would you like to tell me what are you doing right now?
What am I doing? I'm in the middle of moving. My house is full of boxes. What else can I tell you?
Jim told me you're right now a painter.
Yes, I'm painting right now. I'm painting, but I'm not painting as much as I should because I'm cold. No. If you like to see my painting, you can even come into my house. I'm not asking you to leave. If you want to come upstairs, I'll show you one of my paintings. It's not finished yet. I can also show you.
Bye now. We gotta leave.
Take care, dear.
Bye.
Take care. And I will.
Yeah, if we
Please,
can, we
please
would
come
like...
inside. Please come inside.
Oh, wonderful, thank you.
Okay, no problem. I just didn't expect company. So it's quite all right, really. And anytime, really, with Jim, you know, he's always welcome wherever I am. If he can be where I am. When I first painted this, this came into the form of a person's face looking this way with their eye and their nose and their mouth. This is probably dreams or different things that are coming from the person's head. And this would start out to be the form of a lizard or a reptile. And that's shooting some things out like this. As I said, the work is not complete. It's unfinished. Some friends of mine, my wife and another friend of mine, were here, and they saw the way I'm standing here. I had my shadow on this, and they said that my face profile was the match of this. Since then, I changed the nose and made it different, maybe because of that. But doesn't quite work anymore. But there's not much else I can tell you. I will say that my first love really is to be an actor, and even more than acting for other filmmakers, I really believe more in me for myself as being an actor, to work more closely with whoever I'm working with, the director. I like to feel that I had more of a part in making the film than just being an actor, which is why Permanent Vacation is so special, because Jim and I really made it together. So it was a collaboration between us. And it's not a lot of light, I hope you understand. Okay. I would like to know exactly, in your words, you can tell me. I mean, I've never been to Germany, and I would like to know really. I know the film was very popular there. Jim brought me well, a lot of different press from Germany, but particularly this film magazine. It's called Film Critic. You're familiar with the magazine? And my picture was on the front of it. There was also an interview with Jim and an article about... there was an article about what I'm doing now. I think the name of the article is What is Chris Parker Doing Now? So maybe I've cleared that up for you people a little bit more now.
What do you want to hear, kid?
I don't care as long as it's vibrating, bugged out sound. Man, what a sax.
What is that? I really hate that kind of music.
It's Screaming Jay Hawkins, and he's a wild man, so bug off.
So, man. I got something for you.
What is it?
It's a present.
Present? Thanks. What is it? It's a dress?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
think it's kind of ugly. Don't you?
No, I bought it. Why don't you try it on?
I don't really wear this style.
You know, you come here, you should dress like people dress here.
I'll try it on later.
Well, I don't think that, I think in both films the characters are not motivated by what one normally expects to see in a story. They're, in both films, that they don't have those kind of motivations. I don't really feel that they're organized in Stranger Than Paradise either. I think they do things by chance. Things suggest themselves to them rather than them making decisions, really.
But don't you think whatever they do, it's fine? I mean, they have no fear, no even when they are alone. They are very well. They are strong of being in the middle of nowhere.
Well, they're resigned to that fact. They're resigned to that kind of existence. So it's not something that they think about. They're also not intellectual characters. They find themselves in that world and they accept it. In Permanent Vacation, the character is not quite he's not quite decided what his world is. I think there are more possibilities for his world in his mind anyway. I think he doesn't know what will happen in his life. He hasn't resigned himself to anywhere. So in a way it is the opposite in that he's open to things happening, whereas in Stranger the characters have already accepted their lives the way they are. And the character of Allie in Permanent Vacation has not really accepted anything. Everything is open. But I think the idea of chance is very important in both films. Things happen by chance. Chance is a very important influence on decisions and actions. More important than making those decisions based on ambition or motivation.
Jim decided he didn't want to use the film that Vim had given him. And I said, come on, yes, Jim, let's use the film. And he says, well, I would like to use you and Esther. And I said, why don't you make it that I'm Esther's Hungarian cousin and she comes to visit me? I don't want her to stay here. And Vim, he said, okay. How is that? It doesn't make sense for me to answer those kind of questions in a way. You know, it's a collaboration between Jim and I, but, right?
Where does that meat come from?
What do you mean?
What does that meat come from?
I guess it comes from a cow.
From a cow? It doesn't even look like meat.
Hey, but stop bugging me. You know, this is where we eat in America. I got my meat, I got my potatoes, I got my vegetables, I got my dessert, and I don't even have to wash the dishes.
This is a great scene.
Yeah.
And again, you remember what I told you about the shot of the stage in Permanent Vacation? I had the idea that I wanted to do this like a stage also. You know what I mean? Almost like an old postcard. But anyway, I think that's what helps that scene, too. Like I said, this is one of my favorite shots here. It's all one take. It somehow moves from one long shot to one long shot, but yet people enter the frame, the camera moves and slightly, very gently recomposes. I like the way it just kind of slips over and picks him up as he comes in. And I think it's really beautiful the way John is shaving here. It really adds an element of the apartment being lived in, which is very nice.
Being in his place, yeah. I'm here, yeah. And she's the guest.
Yeah, and I like it the way you just ignore her while the two of them are there, and we just go back over and pick her up. You know. You know, and you never forget that John's over there, listening to this the whole time and watching.
Because they're
right.
They
Now,
look at him.
You know, this was done by a combination of both necessity and the feeling, let's do it. We said, let's do it, because Jim had 2 lenses, or maybe even 3 lenses that he had enough money to afford. They were wide-angle lenses. We had no time to go in for cuts or do anything like that, so that's where he came up with the idea of long, wider takes.
Yeah. Hey, Willie, how you
Hey,
doing?
man, how you doing?
Pretty good. I didn't know you had company.
This is my cousin
Yeah?
from Hungary.
It's cute.
Shut up, man.
Hi. I'm Eddie.
Eva?
How you do?
Okay.
Hungry.
Yeah.
You been here in New York long?
For 2 days only.
You like it?
Yes. I'm going to Cleveland in about a week.
Cleveland, it's a beautiful city.
Yes.
Yeah. It's got a big, beautiful lake. You'll love it there.
Have you been there?
No.
Who's running in the second race?
Ah, we have Indian Hibbert, Face the Music, Inside Dope, Off the Wall, Cat Fight, Late Spring, Pass the Fancy, and Tokyo Story. Tokyo Story.
You're right, yeah.
It's good one.
Get off my shit, man.
Oh, sorry.
This is the 3rd.
Song and Dance, Last McCoy, Room McCoy, Square Deal, Female Touch. It's a good one. Female Touch.
I'm not betting on this.
We gonna take Ava?
No, we're not gonna take
He bugs me.
She come with us. We'll have a good time.
Is it nice?
Oh, it's fun, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Why don't we take Ava with us?
Huh?
Why don't we take Ava?
I don't want to take Ava with us.
Just have a good time.
Look, Ava, stay out of trouble, all right? Just stay here while I'm gone. All right? Let's go, man.
Why don't we take her with us? Come on.
Well,
See you later, Ava. I'll see you again sometime. My character was more responsive to Willie. Eddie was Willie's sidekick in a way. And Willie made all the important decisions of where to go, what to do. And in a way, I think Eddie did try to ape Willie. Because Willie was the more responsible one, the more decisive one.
The more aggressive, anyway.
The more aggressive.
It's difficult. I think actors need time alone to like get out of their character or get into it, you know, which none of you really ever had. I don't know if that bothered you, but...
No, it didn't bother me at all. I like that. I like being forced to jump into it and react.
Yeah, you seemed really, really good at it.
And how did you get in touch with Jim?
May I take a cigarette?
Sure.
I have some. I think I was suggested to him by Chris Parker when he was looking for somebody for another movie he was working on at the time. This was 3 years ago. And he was writing the script for this movie and he was looking for someone. Chris suggested me. And then he met with me, we talked about that script. And just then, we only met a couple of times after that. just then he got the film stock from Wim Wenders to make a half-hour-long movie. So him and John had this very basic idea for Stranger Than Paradise. And he said, I think he said to John that I want Esther to be in this movie. Or I wanted, you know, Esther to be one of the main characters.
So he saw you in a play from Squad Theatre?
No, never before that. After, yes, but before, it was funny because I really only met him about 2 times before he decided that he wanted me to be in Stranger Than Paradise.
Esther, could you tell me where you come from and what are you doing here in New York?
Yeah, I'm from Hungary. I was born there. And I left Hungary when I was 10 years old with this theater group, Squad Theater. And we went to Paris. We lived there for 1.5 years. And then we came here in 1977, so I've been living here for 7 years, almost 8, I think. But I feel like a New Yorker. Yeah, born somewhere else, but in New York, but kind of grew up in New York. Because it's kind of, I was trying to separate the line between myself and this character. And I'm not so enthusiastic about emphasizing on where I come from, my Hungarian background. It doesn't mean that much to me. So it was a little difficult, and I argued with Jim in the beginning about that too, that I didn't want to be Hungarian. But at the end it doesn't bother me because they're looking at Eva Mona on the screen, not me, so it's all right.
Jim and I are very different, very different. Jim likes to keep things at a distance quite a bit. You know, he's got this, and he's got some very, very beautiful ideas. I'm very, very excited by his ideas, okay? But he likes to keep things at a distance. And he likes to keep things happening on a very, very minimal level. Whereas I really like to look at things and to really see something. I like to go for the excitement of what is happening, but not in an exaggerated way, you know, in a sense that's really true, you know. So we would have this kind of a conflict every time we shot. He would want to keep it far away. He would want to always keep the camera far away. I would say, I understand what you're saying, Jim, but the idea that what you're trying to do with your actors, it's not happening because you're so far away. And so it would be this, I think it's sort of a symbolic kind of a thing. Him wanting to be like this and me wanting to be like this to come in closer. And that happened in many, many different ways, that same kind of conflict.
I remember a scene in Permanent Vacation when Chris is dancing. And there first the camera is very far away, but then there's a shot very close.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, the one is maybe Jim.
Right. And well, no, even that long shot, Jim wanted to do it further back, even further back. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do that. A lot of, especially today, there's this kind of, I don't know, I think it probably actually did originate in Germany, who knows, you know, with Wim Wenders and Herzog and all that distance kind of thing. But even still, if you're going to use a long shot, there is a distance that somehow in which the action dies, something, you know, the whole thing dies, or it still maintains a certain interest. I sort of feel like it's a cop-out in a way.
In Munich, the film is announced as Wim Wenders' favorite movie, Stranger Than Paradise. Is that an honor to you, or do you like it compared with Wim?
Yeah, it's sort of double-edged, you know. I respect Wim's work a lot, and I like his work. I also like him personally, and so and he was helpful in helping this film to be made. So I'm happy that he likes the film and was supportive. At the same time, it can be insulting to have one person pointed to as your major influence, which I don't feel is true. I mean, I respect his work and I like his films, especially his earlier films. But at the same time, I have influences from many places, from Nicholas Ray, who I knew, from Robert Frank, who I know, as well as from Ozu and Mitsuguchi, from Bresson and Dreyer and Sam Fuller. You know, I mean, anything that I like influences me in some ways. So it does upset me when people feel or express the feeling that my film is somehow imitative of Wim's work, which I don't feel is true. I think we have a different way of working with actors. We have a different sense of humor. We have a lot of different, differences. Then we also have similarities in that we both, for example, like Ozu very much. We both like rock and roll a lot. It's an important influence. So, it's it works both ways. Frankly, I do, though, get annoyed when people say that I'm imitating Wim Wenders' films. I don't. I always wonder why they don't find some other influences in my work as well.